Hi, I'm Dr. Broussard with the Waggin Trained Veterinary Clinic, and in today's segment we're going to discuss how to properly care for your new puppy. My assistant Cole and I have put together a list of questions that we're going to run through to hopefully give you a better understanding of how to care for a new puppy. Cole?
Dr. Broussard, how will proper puppy care impact the life of my dog?
It's huge. I mean, how you start out an animal's life is arguably the most important part of their entire life. Not only from the vaccine side and the medical side where we prevent various diseases, which are very important, but I think just as important with the training side, teaching them discipline, teaching them what they can and can't do, how to do it properly, those kind of things, it's huge. So yeah, puppy care is a really, really big deal.
Why is it important to start good puppy care on day one?
Well, because your life with that puppy begins on day one. Think about it this way, when a puppy comes to you for the first time, obviously they left their original setting and every single thing in their life just got turned upside down and is brand new. Who you are, how you're going to treat them, how your children may treat them, what is to be expected, behavior issues, can they go in this room or on the carpet or just the hard floor, or the inside or the outside, can they sleep in a bed, all of those things, they don't know. They have to learn from day one. From the medical side, it's important on day one to begin proper puppy care because that's when the puppy, you want to start with a good clean slate. Any issues that are there, whether it's parasites or vaccination status, heartworm preventative, it's all imperative to start that at a very early age so you don't end up trying to fight an uphill battle and dealing with a problem later on down the road.
How soon should I bring my puppy in to see a veterinarian for the first time?
Most breeders provide a 72-hour window or guarantee that from the time of you picking up and purchasing a said animal, they will give you 3 days to get it checked out by a veterinarian. There are some cases that those animals may have an underlying health issue, a congenital birth defect or something like that, where you may not want to keep them. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but that's what the 3-day guarantee is for. And again, referring back to the previous question I just answered, you just want to get a good rapport established with your veterinarian and begin whatever proper medical care is due at that early age.
What are the most common health problems in puppies?
Puppies, I'm going to say the most common thing would be things such as intestinal worms is very, very high on the list. Parvovirus, unfortunately, is still very high on the list. Skin issues can be, that's probably, I didn't order these ahead of time, but that's probably about the third or fourth most common thing we see. Hernias can be a big deal on young puppies, umbilical hernias, inguinal hernias, things like that. Very, very rarely congenital heart murmurs, things like that can be found as well. Fontanelles or soft spots on the head. These are all things that can be picked up on the first examination with your veterinarian. And again, those things are among the reasons why it's important to start early.
What are some signs and symptoms of illness in your puppy?
I guess in that one I would refer back to okay, so let's think of the things that I just said happen commonly. Intestinal worms. What does that normally look like? It can be anywhere from diarrhea to lethargy to maybe even vomiting. Parvovirus, what does that look like? I'm going to say just about definitely vomiting, diarrhea, those kind of things, sometimes with blood in it. Those are the most common issues. The hernias, you just have to see them and or feel them. So again, depending on what disease process we're talking about, the signs and symptoms can be different, but I think vomiting and diarrhea is probably that and maybe lethargy is probably the most common signs of issues that you will see in very young dogs.
What are the signs of a healthy, thriving puppy?
The exact opposite of everything I just said. Good body posture, position, tail flagging up, happy to see you, very bright and alert. Let's be honest, most 6, 8, 10-week-old puppies, when you call them, they should get excited and want to come to you. If you call them and they want to go sulk in a corner or they just kind of look at you and don't want to do anything, that might be a sign right there. Yeah, could it be personality? Yes, it could be. But more times than not, a young puppy that is not excitable and able to be roused and playful and that kind of thing, there is usually something going on behind the scenes there.
When should I start training my puppy?
Training? Yeah. Kind of on day one. No, not literally on day one. I'm being a little bit silly, but early. Start with the very, very basics. For example, when you feed the dog, try to encourage it to sit every time as you're putting the food down. Hold the food up high and then kind of say sit, 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 and push their rear end down. That's a simple thing that you can do, and don't reward them or treat them until they stay. It might be for a microsecond that they sit. but expect that of them. Make them sit first and then give them the reward. As they get a little bit older, ask them to sit and then put their bowl down. And with my own personal dogs, I hold them there. I don't release them until they've sat for a few seconds, and then I'll usually snap and release them. But my point is, those kind of small behaviors can start very early. You don't want to be too strict with them. You want to let them be a puppy, but you do want to start laying down the guidelines. And it's just like a child. They do better when there's structure and expectations. They really do. You know, to just let them run wild and later you got to correct them. They don't know why you're correcting or what they could have done different, but to show them the right way from an early age, it just makes for such a better, well-rounded puppy right out of the gate.
What will my vet be looking for when examining my puppy for the first time?
A lot of the things we mentioned earlier. I mean, some of the things that I pay most attention to, the stool sample, looking for worms. I do put my hands on them and check for hernias, as we mentioned earlier. Listening to their heart and lungs to check for heart murmurs, that's another very, very important one. Skin and coat, very easy to just see on a good physical exam, just kind of flipping through their fur, make sure there's no fleas or parasites or staph infections, things like that. So those are probably the main things we're looking for on that first exam. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that does it for today. Thanks for tuning in. If you need to reach out to us, got any questions, you can reach us through Facebook, you can reach us online, you can call us or just come into the office directly. Again, thanks for tuning in and we'll see you soon.